This is the LEONX M2 Pro electric bike, a big, full-suspension, fat-tire EMTB with a long, beefy aluminum frame, 26 by 4.0 tires, riser bars, integrated lights, fenders, and a rear rack. Mine is the black finish, and it looks more like a compact moto than a typical bicycle. The LCD is full color and easy to read. There's a USB port on the display to top off a phone, and it uses a half-twist throttle on the right with a 7-speed trigger shifter. The manual and the label on the frame call it the IPOS M2 Pro, but it's sold as LEONX M2 Pro. Same machine. I've been riding it for 6 months, and I want to share what it's really like to live with this thing day to day. Assembly was straightforward. It came mostly built. I mounted the handlebar, front wheel, pedals, headlight, and the fenders and rack. I spent extra time truing the front wheel a touch and dialing in the brakes, then did a proper brake bed-in. If you're new, bed-in just means you do a few controlled stops to transfer pad material to the rotor so braking becomes consistent. Out of the box, the shifter housing sat a little too close to the grip, so my knuckles brushed it. Sliding the controls a few millimeters solved most of that, but it's one of those small fit and finish things you only notice after a long ride. Key features that define this bike are the 1800-watt peak rear hub motor, a 48-volt 7.5-hour removable battery, dual suspension, 26 by 4 tires, a color display with a USB port, 5 riding modes, and 7 mechanical gears. In my opinion, the motor and suspension are the headline here. The hub motor is rated at 110 newtons of torque, and torque is just twisting force, how hard it shoves you forward at low speeds and on hills. From my experience, acceleration is strong but controllable. It's not a jerky hit, it rolls on with authority. On a flat road with the speed limit unlocked, my GPS reads between 35 and 36 miles per hour with light pedaling in high pass, and around 28 to 30 miles per hour using pure throttle on level ground. That's honest motorcycle adjacent speed on a bike with pedals, and it feels every bit as quick as the numbers suggest. PAS stands for pedal assist system, and you get multiple levels. The lower levels feel easy and natural for cruising around neighborhoods. The upper levels are where the motor really wakes up. There's also a walk mode for pushing it up a ramp, plus cruise control if you hold a steady throttle. If you're new to powerful e-bikes, the learning curve is more about respecting how quickly it reaches speed and how heavy it is. I don't consider it a beginner's bike, especially once unlocked. Climbing is where the 110 nm spec comes to life. I ride a short but steep service road that tops out near 30% grade. With PS high, it climbs without drama as long as I keep a steady cadence. On rolling hills, it holds 20+ miles per hour with minimal effort. The motor does get warm after 10 miles of sustained high-power riding. I've heard a slightly gritty sound once or twice after hard sprints and hill repeats. I just backed off for a couple minutes and it went back to normal. I haven't had any error codes or shutdowns. The suspension is coil-based front and rear. Coil isn't fancy, but it's plush and consistent. It soaks up broken pavement, curbs, and washboard gravel better than most budget air forks I've tried on e-bikes. The 4-inch tires act like extra suspension if you set pressure right. I run 20 to 22 psi on pavement for stability and 15 to 18 psi on dirt for grip. It glides over potholes that would rattle a hardtail. Comfort-wise, the suspension is great, but the stock saddle is not. It's firm and narrow, and on rides longer than 30 minutes, I felt sit-bone pressure and numbness. I swapped to a wider, better padded saddle, and that changed the bike from a chore to a cruiser. Also, the original seat post clamp on mine didn't hold angle well. The teeth started to round under my weight over the first few weeks. I replaced it with a sturdier forged clamp and haven't had an issue since. Handling is a mixed bag. Straight line stability is excellent. The bike is heavy and planted, which is reassuring at speed. But that mass works against you in tight turns or quick maneuvers. It steers slower than a typical bike, and on loose gravel or sand, the front tire tends to push wide if you turn sharply. I've experienced a mild speed wobble twice at top speed when I hit a bump while gripping the bar too tightly. Tightening the headset, truing the wheel, running the correct tire pressure, and lightening my death grip all helped. But I still treat 30+ miles per hour with the respect it deserves. In my opinion, this rides like a small street cruiser that happens to be comfortable on dirt paths, not a technical trail machine. Brakes are the weak point. Stock, you get 180mm mechanical disc brakes. Mechanical means a cable pulls the caliper, which can stretch and get gritty. At neighborhood speeds, they're okay after a proper bed-in. At 30+ miles per hour, they're not enough. Stopping distances are too long for a bike this fast and heavy. I upgraded to hydraulic discs after 2 weeks. If you're new, hydraulic just means the lever pushes brake fluid in a sealed line, which gives you more power and smoother control with less hand force. The difference is night and day. I'd recommend this for anyone who plans to ride above 25 miles per hour or down long hills. It's not about making it fancy, it's about making it safe. The battery is a 48-volt 17.5-hour pack, so roughly 840 hours of capacity. Range is highly dependent on speed, wind, rider weight, and hills. I'm about 190 pounds. From my experience, riding hard in high pass with a lot of throttle, I see 25 to 30 miles per charge. On mixed rides, lower PS on flats, mid-pass on hills, I get 40 to 50 miles without babying it. If I keep it mellow and P1 to 2 on flat bike paths, I can touch the high 50s and occasionally low 60s. The brand's 36 to 85 mile claim is realistic only at the slow end with conservative riding. Charging from low battery to full takes around 5 to 6 hours with the included charger. The USB port on the display will trickle charge a phone, useful for navigation, but it's not a fast charger. Utility stuff is solid. The rear rack is sturdy enough for grocery runs, and the fenders keep the grit down, though I added rubber washers to quiet a little rattle on the rear. The headlight is brighter than I expected. The rear light is basic, so I clipped on an extra flasher for traffic. Water splashes and light rain haven't caused any issues for me, but I avoid pressure washing and always dry the battery contacts. Weight is the daily trade-off. This bike is heavy, and hauling it upstairs is a no-go for me. The upside is a stable ride and a frame that doesn't flinch under load. The downside is that tight parking, car racks, and any kind of lifting are a workout. If you live upstairs or plan to put it on a hitch rack often, plan ahead. A quick note on rules. With a 1,000-watt nominal 1,800 watts peak motor and a top speed around 36 miles per hour when unlocked, this can sit outside typical Class 1/2-3 limits. Where I live, Class 3 caps pedal assist at 28 miles per hour and usually disallows throttle at that speed. I keep it locked in lower modes on shared paths and save the open speed for empty roads. Check your local regulations, and no matter what, wear a real helmet and gloves. It's perfect for tall or heavier riders who have struggled to find a bike that feels strong and comfortable. The geometry is roomy, the cockpit is upright, and the motor has the torque to carry speed without feeling strained. It's also perfect for suburban riders linking pavement, gravel, and light trails, or anyone who wants a plush, fast cruiser for long, imperfect roads. From my experience, it's less ideal for smaller riders, tight city riding, or anyone who needs to lift a bike regularly. In my opinion, the M2 Pro is a powerhouse with smart compromises in all the non-headline parts. The motor, battery, and suspension feel premium at its price. The brakes and saddle do not. If you're comfortable doing 2 upgrades, hydraulic brakes, and a better saddle, this transforms from a rowdy project into a very capable daily machine. I'd recommend this for enthusiasts who value speed and comfort, are okay with a heavy platform, and don't mind tweaking a few parts to match the performance. If you want something light, nimble, and plug-and-play for urban commuting, this likely isn't your pick. In conclusion, the LEONX M2 Pro delivers thrilling power, excellent hill climbing, and standout comfort on rough surfaces. It demands respect, rewards smooth inputs, and benefits enormously from a brake upgrade. After 6 months, it's the bike I grab when I want to cover distance fast, float over broken pavement, and not worry about terrain. Treat it like a small moto, set it up safely, and it's a grin machine. I'll leave the details about the LEONX M2 Pro electric bike in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.